concentration than vinegar. This means there is less water in syrup than there is in vinegar. Today, we're going to carefully scoop the egg out of the beaker and place it on the weigh dish. We're going to then find the mass of that egg. Then pour the syrup out into the sink with plenty of water to rinse it down because it is kind of sticky. Then we'll rinse the beaker and fill it halfway up with water. Next, we'll carefully place the egg into the beaker to rinse off some of the remaining syrup. Then we'll rinse the weigh dish. Remember, this is a weigh dish. And dry the weigh dish with a paper towel. Then that would be for us to continue on with our other eggs, which you won't see on camera, but I'll do it. Then you'll look at the egg and write 2 observations you'll notice about the egg in the chart besides day 4. Then you'll rinse the beaker again, removing the egg, and fill it halfway with water. Place the egg back in, and then fill it the rest of the way with water. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually include some food coloring with our water to see what happens. So next, we'll place the beaker back on its data sheet and have our observations about it. So when you're working on this, you're going to fill in a hypothesis. If the egg is left in tap water, then what will happen? You're also going to answer these questions about what the egg looks like now. Looking back at your hypothesis from part 2, was it correct? Why? Or why not? What happened to the size of the egg after it was in syrup? And did water move into or out of the egg? And why? Try to use words like water, molecules, concentration, low, high, move, that sort of thing. So this is going to be part 3. So we have our egg. It's in syrup. Honestly, the syrup is a lot more watery than you would normally think of syrup. Like syrup you think of as thick, and it wouldn't really be able to move as much as this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my egg out. And it's really squishy, guys. I'm going to dump this syrup down the sink with plenty of water to follow behind it and rinse my beaker out. That syrup was really loose. It seemed like maybe it had some water in the syrup. So that's something to think about. I have my beaker about halfway full of water, and I'm going to just rinse my egg off there real quick and pick my egg back up. Oh, it's really squishy. All right. So the egg has really changed a lot. This egg is now like kind of deflated, really squishy. You can see it's like even kind of wrinkly looking. You can still see the yellow yolk, but it's really soft. It's squishy. It's deflated. Do you think it gained mass or lost mass? Let's find out. So I'm turning on my scale, my balance. And this electronic balance, we'll want to have it at 0 with the weigh dish there because we don't want to count the weigh dish in the mass of the egg. So now that's at 0, and I'm going to put this egg there. Now remember, yesterday when I put the egg in the syrup, it weighed 74.42 grams. And it was like bouncy, but it was not like this squishy. So it's kind of interesting. Now the mass is 43.50 grams. It lost like 30 grams. That's a lot of mass to lose. So it's at 43.51 grams. Now I'm going to say it doesn't just feel squishy. It is very squishy and really kind of shriveled. And it's also a lot smaller. So I'm recording that. And it is still yellow. You can still see the yolk. All right, so now I have my egg, and I'm going to fill this beaker halfway with water. I don't want to drop it directly into the beaker because I'm worried that it might rupture or burst open. So I'm filling my beaker about halfway up with water, putting the egg in, filling it the rest of the way up with water. You can see the egg is now in there, and we will add some food coloring. Let's do blue just for fun. So I'm going to do 2 drops of blue food coloring. And check out what's happening here. You can see the food coloring starting to diffuse throughout the beaker. And we'll check back in tomorrow. See what you think will happen. Will this egg get bigger? Will it change color? I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You can include that in your hypothesis. Thanks so much for listening.